everybody. You got another episode of Après Sales here. Jack and Larson here from Gondola. And on this episode here today, we've been doing this startup game for about 3 years now, and man, is it challenging. And so what we love to talk with you all about is just get some real talk in here and talk through some of the challenges that we go through throughout this time. What have been some of the hardest things? And then also, as you're working hard throughout every single day, every single week, how do you keep yourself sane and motivated throughout that same time? So that's kind of our topic of discussion here today. But Jack, of course, as always, what is your beer of choice this afternoon?
Well, I'm in the office today, a new background, and I think probably because you usually grab the beer for the office, got a Modelo, another Larson special. Well, we have Larson specials all around, not super unique, no Pacifico. Yeah. Clearly, I got to make a beer run. I don't have much beer in the house here, but well, cheers, buddy. It's been a good week. Cheers to you. Indeed.
Alrighty, well, let's kick things off here. So we're talking challenges, motivations, but let's start. Starting a startup is so hard. So let's talk. Tell me from your experience, what have been some of the hardest things that we've encountered that you personally so far?
Yeah, well, especially like unexpected ones, because there's the expected challenges, right? Long hours, hard time, difficult problems, which can be fun to solve too. But I think like unexpectedly, we had to pivot, right? In our company, we were previously DemoFlow and now we're Gondola, and pivoting's hard for a number of reasons. But I think one that's like top of mind right now for me is how do you support your, legacy? I don't really want to call them legacy because they're still very normal, but maybe just, customers who bought the previous iteration of the product into the new iteration. And, you can read stories of companies that have done it every way, from like the hard cutover, like we are ending your contract and moving on to the new world. And, we didn't do that. And there's the other one of try to, retain as many as you possibly can, which is probably closer to what we've done on our end. And I don't know what's the right answer necessarily, but I know that what we're dealing with right now, post pivot and going through the motions with our existing customers, it's really, I think the best thing we can do and what we've done so far is just to have really honest conversations with everybody about where we're headed, what they can expect from us, what you can do for support, and what they should expect going forward. And those honest, transparent conversations, I think, are at least the most respectful thing you can do in the world of pivoting. Yeah. What about you? What do you think?
Well, yeah, and just on that topic is that communication is so important, right? Just making sure everyone has visibility into what's going on in the company, and we do our best to try to keep everyone up to speed as we've kind of gone through this transition here. But from my perspective, it's a little bit different than you might expect. So as some people may know, I come from a sales background. I've been an AE, SDR, and an SC. In many ways, it has been my biggest strength in building a sales enablement solution, no doubt. I can speak to the workflows, the pain points. I know it deeply. It allows me to sell. But probably the biggest unexpected challenge is that I have a sales background. Ironic enough is I think there's a way that you can build a product in the right way and start a company in the right way. And certainly revenue is a huge component of it. Do not get me wrong here. But in the very, very early days, I think I probably influenced us to focus way more on charging every single customer to try to prove that they're willing to pay for it. It's not necessarily the wrong thing, but what I think would be better before that would be, I think, way more important than their money is their time. If people keep coming back to your solution and they're like, this thing is incredible, I just can't not have it, I have to keep using it, that is a tough problem to even solve in and of itself. How do you get people's attention and keep them coming back over and over and over again as you're building more functionality into the product? And so I think placing a little bit more emphasis on the sales side and revenue side in the early days may have been a misstep. And we've course corrected since then. But remember, people's time is sometimes greater than their money, especially in the early days when you're building the company to be scalable into the future, no doubt.
Yeah. And there's so many ways like early to, we're a venture-backed company by some amazing investors. And there's this interesting balancing act of what is, more valuable as a company. Is it users? Is it the sessions, the activity, or the revenue coming in? And, it's tough to walk that tightrope. There's no right answer, but I think, well, the right answer is whatever metric of engagement is meaningful to your business, right? It's different for every company. A bunch of free users might be great for one, whereas a bunch of free users might mean nothing to another. So I think really just aligning on the North Star of what's meaningful to your company is useful.
That is so true there. And we have gone through the whiplash, no doubt. Is everyone will give you in investor world or advisor world, all of those answers are correct and all of them are wrong at the same time. And so you'll get every opinion under the sun. And so you have to really deeply know, what are you trying to build towards? And what are the most important North Star metrics that you feel really confident on, that you stand behind? And don't let yourself sway based upon what other people say, which can be quite challenging at times, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could probably talk for an hour on all the unexpected hard things, but like with everything coming at us, during the days, weeks, months, years, what do you do to keep your head on straight, stay sane during all this?
Well, it's very generous to call my head on straight. I appreciate you saying that. It's very nice of you. Well, I say I've done it the wrong way, and I think I'm starting to do it the right way now. Is in the first 2 years of starting the company, I sacrificed literally everything I could possibly imagine for the company. And that included my physical health, my dietary health, mental steps away from the company and working. And so I gave it every ounce of energy and time that I had. And that was not the right call. I found my breaking points. I found how many days in a row is it too much to work? That's a whole different conversation. And where does the effectiveness go down? And like, what does it really feels good to you? So what I've tried to do, that's the wrong way to do it. So don't do it that way. The right way, or at least trending right way, is, you got to look for those things in life where that it's really tough, but that allow your brain to not think about the thing that you think is the most important in your life. And for me specifically, that's getting really hard workouts in and making sure that I'm working out very consistently, hopefully every single day, about a 4 to 5 day week pace right now, which is what I'm really shooting for. And then, the holy grail of it all, which I don't mean to steal your thunder here, but it's certainly jumping out of some airplanes at times and getting that kind of mental freedom. That's probably the one place on earth that I can get totally free of any work thoughts, for better or for worse. But I'd say those are two things that I try to stay focused on to help myself out. How about you?
Yeah, of course. Skydiving is a big one. I love skydiving. Can't be beat for the flow state. But I think that's really what the key is. I worked with a coach for a while who was focused on using adrenaline sports to, improve your leadership abilities, which I thought was a really interesting take. And one of the things that the core underlying theme there was, speed in some sense, whatever that means to you. It doesn't need to be 50, 100, 200 miles an hour, but like, so whatever speed does to the human body, like forces focus, which I thought was really interesting. So even surfing, you're going fast on the wave. Skydiving, obviously going pretty fast, but could just be bicycle riding, right? It doesn't have to be like extreme speed, but his proposition was, speed breeds focus in a way of like forcing your body into a flow state, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. But whatever that is, getting into your flow state somehow, could be playing an instrument, whatever it is, like getting your brain to get into a zone where it can't afford to think about something else is one of the best ways to, stay sane.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know you and I go skiing quite frequently. You're a snowboarder, so we get a chance to go out, get some fresh mountain air. That always makes me feel better. Yeah, it's just, you got to take your time to step away and what really gives you joy in life, and try to do more of that and focus more on those key pieces, even if it's for a few times a month, maybe at most.
Yeah. And staying sane is like, I think, part of the remedy for all the challenges, but I think there's also so much that keeps me going, and I'm sure it keeps you going as well, beyond just, switching up the day to day. Like, I know we had a call earlier this week with a prospective customer who, pardon my French for anyone whose kids are listening to Après sales, probably not the case. but this person said, "Oh, fuck, guys, are you seeing this?" On a call as we were demoing the functionality, and that's just like energy for days, right? Clipped that in Zoom IQ, shared it with the whole team. Like, this is the reaction that we're getting to the stuff we're building, and that keeps me going so much.
Oh yeah, I mean, that really is it. I mean, why are we doing this, right? It's to build something that people actually get value out of, that they love, that they really want and need in their life, and it provides them freedom and all these different pieces in their day-to-day. Like, that's really it. We want to build something that people love and love to use. And so those little tidbits that we get along the way is just like, it's fuel for the fire, because obviously we love our product. We love the problem that we're solving. We love all these things, but to hear it from others and to get that confirmation at times, that is probably the best fuel that we can possibly get. And there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's just the best.
Yeah. Well, I'd say the other thing too is, I mean, our team, like a lot of our team has been with us for, well over a year now. And so we've built some really solid relationships with everyone on this team, and we know everybody very deeply, and what are their motives, what drives them, what gets them up every day, and what do they want their career to go in their life. And man, that has been maybe an unexpected thing that is keeping me going. It's just like the relationships, I didn't expect these things to come to fruition, and how I'd almost tie my own success and the company's success, their success is almost more important, and helping them get to what they want to go achieve. Well, that really keeps me going, and I think about that quite a bit, no doubt.
Yeah, we have amazing team members from all over the world moving across the country to new countries, sometimes across the world, growing families, making plans to how am I going to help my parents retire, things like this. And it's just so deeply motivating, because it's really bigger than, two of us, obviously. But like, it's amazing what the motivation of the team, how that fuels me. And I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, there's no doubt. Starting a startup is like easily the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life, no doubt, but is also equally the most gratifying thing. And I just got to keep going. We got to keep moving. So if anyone wants to start a startup, know that there's going to be challenges. There's going to be unexpected challenges, but the benefits that you'll get out of it will be way unexpected, way more than money, way more than anything else. And it's going to keep you motivated, and it's well worth it, no doubt. But it's certainly got a share of challenges along the way. But any other thing else to add here, Jack?
The hard thing about starting one, I would love to talk with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more we can share.
Yeah. Well, hit us up if you're starting up a startup and you want some advice or want to talk through some ideas. We're always available. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week.
Cheers.